The Xiaomi 12s Ultra, an impressive smartphone in its own right. Unfortunately, only available in China, and it doesn't look like it's coming to the UK either. This is my review of the Xiaomi 12s Ultra, but also a video for people who are wanting to use this in the UK. How have I found it? Has there been any bugs? And just in general, how have I got on with the 12s Ultra? And at the end, I'll also give my opinion if I believe it's worth the upgrade from the Mi 11 Ultra. Now, the main talking point is obviously the camera bump on the 12s Ultra, and I've been using it in the case to keep it protected, mainly because a lot of these things I do sell on to then fund further purchases. But anyway, yeah, the 12s Ultra, main thing is the camera bump, and it's definitely an eye catcher. The overall build quality, I think, is fantastic. It's got a solid aluminium frame and eco leather back, definitely different from the ceramic back that we found on the Mi 11 Ultra. Xiaomi have also teamed up with Leica to bring you Leica lenses. The lenses actually have like an ultra low reflection sort of professional coating, which does or should reduce glare. So the main sensor is a 50 megapixel Sony IMX989, a 1-inch sensor. This allows for more light to enter the sensor and brings you better photos in low light. Look at these samples for look at these samples for example. Look at these samples for example. That rhymes. Yeah, so pitch black here, and then boom. Night mode, I think a few seconds in night mode for that exposure, and fantastic. Again, bedroom window, completely dark, and then a few seconds with night mode on, and it really, really brightens that image. So I think in low light, the 12s Ultra does an excellent job. So to complement the main 50 megapixel sensor, there's a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and there's a 48 megapixel periscope telephoto. And within this, you can get 5 times optical zoom as an optical system within the camera. Video capabilities, the 12s Ultra, you can shoot up to 8K at 24 frames per second. A great feature, something that I've probably only used once though. It's not stable, there's no stabilization in there. So yeah, I've never really wanted to or really needed to use it. The most popular recording choice for me was 4K 60, and I used 4K 60 throughout the weeks I've been using 12s Ultra really. I think the video performance is great, and I must say that I do think I prefer it over the Pixel 6 Pro, my main daily driver. I do prefer the video on the 12s Ultra compared to the 6 Pro. Get up. Side of the castle here. And another great feature that I've fallen in love with is the 5 times optical zoom on this in video mode. Excellent, really, really good. I've made so much use of that since using this at the football games and just anywhere where I've been in general. Performance is amazing, brilliant. Well done, Rash. So you can shoot in ultra wide as well at 4K 60 on here. A lot of phones, if you on 4K 60 and you try and open up ultra wide or optical zooms, then sometimes it might drop down to 4K 30, but 4K 60 on everything with this, which is perfect. Get some fantastic ultra wide video as well, and including photos. But now I've been using this, I've been more inclined to use telephoto instead of ultra wide. Obviously, if I really need to use ultra wide, then I'd do that. But yeah, I love the optical, brilliant. To be honest, you don't really need to shoot at any other resolution. 4K 60, absolutely fine. 1080p 30 and 1080p 60 are there if you want to, and I must say they are absolutely exceptional as well. Quality is great, stabilization is just as good as well. What, ice cream? Yeah. Now the disappointment on this is the front camera. 32 megapixel sensor on the front. You can't shoot 4K on the selfie, you can only shoot 1080p 30, and The stabilization there, which is fine. It takes some good selfies, some good portraits, but dynamic range is very poor, especially obviously in the summertime now, really bright sunny conditions, then the sky gets blown out, and yeah, it's just a bit wishy-washy. Not the best experience on the front camera for me. On the video now you can see here darker, but on the 12s Ultra quite light, but the back and the sky are quite blown out. So the camera system as a whole compared to the Pixel 6 Pro just falls short, and that's mainly to do with the front camera. The rear camera tech and the software is excellent, it is, but as a whole compared to the 6 Pro it just falls short for me. Okay, so we need to remember, and don't forget, this is actually a smartphone, it's not a camera phone. There's a massive camera on it with great tech, but this is a smartphone. So the 12s Ultra is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which is a more powerful chip than its predecessor, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and also CPU throttling, little to no throttling at all with this brand new chip. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, if you remember that, I'm sure you do remember that, throttled severely throttled. 12s Ultra, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, no throttling. It's been fantastic. Got a little bit warm at times, but very reliable performance, very stable as well. Thumbs up. So I bought this from Giztop.com, and obviously there's Chinese software on it, and you have a few options available. You can crank it all the way up to 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage. Lots of storage, or you can even buy the 8 gig version with 256 gigabytes of internal storage. So on the front of the phone we have an impressive W Quad HD plus 120 Hz display, which can also just be set to Full HD plus in the settings if you want to save battery. There also is a little setting, a button that you can switch, so it'll automatically switch depending on what you're doing, which will also save battery as well. The display overall is fantastic. An LTPO2 AMOLED display, 1 billion colours, and protected with Gorilla Glass Victus. Underneath is an under-display optical fingerprint sensor, which for me has been very reliable, no real problems, but I also make use of the Face ID that is on the 12s Ultra, which at times is probably quicker than actually using the fingerprint sensor as well. Speakers, sound by Harman Kardon, stereo speakers, absolutely excellent sound quality. Nothing more to say really. It really enhances the user experience watching movies and stuff like that. The speakers are great. Now most of the time I made sure the phone was in W Quad HD Plus settings, and with the 4860 milliamp battery inside this device, battery life's been very good. I managed just over 8 hours on one day, but on average I'd say over 7 hours, which is very respectable given the tech inside the phone that needs to be powered. The charging block that you get with this is a 67 watt fast charger. You get up to 100% in around about just over 40 minutes. There's also wireless charging as well, which is rated at 50 watts, and reverse wireless charging at 10 watts. Now, in all honesty, I never used wireless charging. I've never really seen the need for me to use it personally. So in terms of performance wise, I haven't tested that. So it's a Chinese device. It's got Chinese software. It's loaded with MIUI 13 on top of Android 12. Once you get through some of like the Chinese hoops, jump through some of them hoops, it looks like any normal device, and the software experience has been good overall. There are a couple of problems I had, and that was adding my debit card to the wallet for Google Pay and notifications. I have now, don't know how, successfully added my cards to the wallet, and I've managed to use it. NFC payment, contactless payments are working absolutely fine on the 12s Ultra. It's just the notifications, there is a way around it, and I've probably got it to working at around about 95% success. Yes, there are the odd notification that may go missing or you might not see it. But on the whole, a huge improvement. Now there are ways to get around this. You need to go into settings, apps, I think app settings, and within each app that you want to improve notifications on, you need to turn off MIUI battery saver and turn auto start on. Those two settings that I've applied to most of my applications that do deliver notifications, notifications have improved a hell of a lot. So I can also report that I used EE UK in the UK. Fantastic signals, no problems. 4G and 5G have been working absolutely fine. Phone calls as well. I can't seem to find any sort of Wi-Fi calling settings in this phone, so that I don't think is there. But on the whole, no issues at all in terms of signal and performance. One little issue, I use Fitbit on my Pixel 6 Pro as well. I installed Fitbit on the 12s Ultra. Logged in, I paired my watch to it as well. I come the next day, went to open Fitbit, and it just closes straight away. Right, here we go. Fitbit. Yeah, so Fitbit hasn't been working for me. But if you don't use a Fitbit, if you don't use smartwatches, you're fine. Okay, so this brings me to the question, if you have a Mi 11 Ultra, is it worth the upgrade? A simple answer, no. I personally don't think it is worth the upgrade. Why? Well, for a start, they've removed that fantastic AMOLED rear display found on the Mi 11 Ultra. I really loved that. A few more tweaks and a bit more research into how to use it properly or to make the most of it. You could have done so much more things on that. I don't know why they removed it, but I loved that on the Mi 11 Ultra. I mean, the camera system on the rear hasn't really changed that much. You can still get 5 times optical zoom on the Mi 11 Ultra, and you can still shoot at 4K 60 with it. I think the main difference is that 1-inch sensor. And on the front camera of the Mi 11 Ultra, you can shoot at 1080p 60. On this, it's only 1080p 30. So they've took that away as well. They've took the AMOLED rear screen. They've reduced the settings on the front camera to 1080p 30 instead of 1080p 60. They've got rid of that beautiful ceramic material. I love the ceramic back on the Mi 11 Ultra compared to this. I just don't think it's worth the upgrade. The only real benefit is obviously the faster chipset. The only benefit is obviously the faster chipset. Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 and the 1-inch sensor, which does improve, I suppose, low light photos. But that's it. So what do you guys think? I'd really love to hear your comments down below. I mean, in its own right, the 12s Ultra is an exceptional phone. It really is. Really, really good. I've been using it for a few weeks and thoroughly enjoyed using it as well. I mean, if you're looking to upgrade from something smaller or much less powerful, 12s Ultra would be a great choice. But if you're looking to jump from the Mi 11 Ultra to the 12s Ultra, then I think you might be disappointed. So I recommend you don't. So that's it, guys. That is my video. Thoroughly enjoyed using this in the UK. It works absolutely fine-ish, with obviously the issues that I have said in the video. But if you are thinking of buying one, then I do recommend it if you don't have a Mi 11 Ultra. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.